Okay, so as of Sunday, how many individuals in the United States have been diagnosed with COVID-19?
It's so specific. Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, the answer is 561,103. So on just that day alone, on just the 12th, over 22,000 deaths were reported. And some other statistics showed that about 40% of coronavirus hospitalizations were individuals between the ages of 20 and 54. So the death rate is still highest among like older people, usually above 80 years old, but it's also really important to be aware that younger people aren't immune to it and they're still being affected. COVID-19 safety precautions should not be taken lightly, but it should also be recognized that most people do recover from the illness.
All right. So Jem is starting off in the lead. So our next question is, which type of face covering should you use? Okay, so the reality is that homemade masks, the N95 masks, and the surgical masks are all types of masks, and so they will all like be effective. But what you should be using, or what you should be going out and getting if you don't already have it in your home, are homemade masks. The CDC is recommending that all individuals wear these homemade masks because a lot of people can be asymptomatic, so you may not be having symptoms of coronavirus, but you could have it. So basically the purpose of it is just to not accidentally spread it to somebody else. And the reasons why homemade masks are recommended more than surgical and N95s is because there's a shortage of masks in healthcare settings, and they need those kind of like more high duty masks to help their patients and make sure they themselves don't get sick. So there's like so many videos on how you can make them online with like t-shirts and like other things, or you can buy like other people's homemade ones. But avoid going out to buy your own surgical masks and N95 masks unless you already have them in your house for some other reason.
Vaping can increase the risk of experiencing all of the following COVID-19 symptoms except. Yeah, so the answer is sudden dry cough. So the severity of COVID-19 is like really heavily impacted by pre-existing conditions. So not only are those with pre-existing conditions at a higher risk of being infected, but they'll also likely experience they'll experience COVID-19 in greater severity than individuals without these circumstances. So prolonged vape use can lead to chronic conditions that can reduce lung function, immune function, and reduce the cilia in the air pathways. And coronavirus is known for causing respiratory and gastrointestinal problems, and these effects can be worsened if vape use has contributed to like concerning health developments. So it should be noted that healthy individuals without underlying conditions can be severely impacted by the virus as well. And having pre-existing condition doesn't automatically mean that an individual will be unable to recover, but if they're infected by the virus. Yeah.
Okay, so smoking and vaping can inhibit the clearance for cilia in your airways. So what do cilia do? Yeah, so pretty much everybody got it right. Cilia removes toxins and mucus from the airways, and it also clears out your airways when you cough. So there's a lot of literature kind of showing that smoking inflames the lungs and suppresses immune function. So it's really important to have these cilia.
Which of the following would not be classified as a pre-existing health condition? Yes, so the answer is headaches. Headaches are unpleasant, but they're not considered a pre-existing condition and they don't increase the susceptibility to the virus. So one possible cause for headaches is dehydration. So if you suffer from headaches, increase your water intake. This will hopefully help that, but yeah.
All right, so Jem is still in the lead. Okay, so if soap and water aren't available, alcohol should make up at least what percentage of hand sanitizer? Yeah, so it is 60%. Conscious hand washing can help prevent the spread of coronavirus because it's common knowledge that hand washing can help like eliminate the amount of germs. But in this pandemic, it's especially important because you may not have hand washing available at all times, but you should be like washing your hands and using hand sanitizer kind of whenever you can, especially if you do choose to leave your house for any reason. So it's just important to know that it should be at least 60%. So if you are buying hand sanitizer, getting it or making your own, you know how much you need to be effective.
Okay, which UCSB services remain open during the pandemic? Yeah, so student health is open. We're offering both in-person and telehealth options, and they'll also ship your prescriptions to wherever you are for free. So although many physical campus locations are closed, departments such as CAPS, the Alcohol and Drug Program, Career Services, and a lot more are still offering services and appointments mostly through Zoom. And to find out how you can access these services, you can either visit the department websites or just check your UCSB email for the campus operations updates.
All right, so how can smoking or vaping affect your body? Yeah, so the correct answer is all of the above. Smoking has been known to weaken the immune system, which can make it more difficult for the body to fight infections. So this is why studies have shown that smoking can be associated with getting possibly even sicker than with COVID-19, because when it comes to vaping in particular, the aerosols from the devices can be really harmful to the lungs and can worsen the body's ability to fight off respiratory infections.
True or false, many e-cigarette users get even more nicotine than they would from a tobacco product. Yes, so that is actually true. So you can buy extra strength cartridges which have like a higher concentration of nicotine, or you can also increase the e-cigarette's voltage to get a greater hit of it.
Okay, so which cause is most concerning in the midst of the COVID-19 outbreak? Oh, nobody got this one right. So they both are to an extent concerning, but smoking combustible cigarettes is the most concerning for this pandemic. Smoking related conditions like heart and lung disease put people at risk of more severe illnesses, and smoking also inhibits the body's ability to heal from infections. When it comes to vaping, there's just not enough research to point out the exact long-term effects versus with just like general smoking there is. So that's why there's this distinction.
There have been how many reports of lung damage associated with vaping? Oh, only one person. Okay, so yeah, it's about 500. research has shown that the vapor from these devices can cause an increase in blood pressure, heart rate, and they can interfere with your blood flow in the same way that like cigarettes can be hazardous. So across the US, there have been like over 500 reports, and there's more coming in just about every day.
All right, no changes in the leaderboard. So true or false, only the person using a vape device is at risk. Okay, so everybody got it right. So just like with secondhand smoking, there is a thing called secondhand vaping. So basically that occurs when the aerosol that users inhale and exhale from the e-cigarettes is like exhaled, and it just exposes themselves and others around them to the secondhand risks.
And then they're like, no, and I was like, good, very slow. You're so funny. I put my video up so I can smoke as well.
Okay, how can you do your part to reduce the spread of the virus? Yes. Okay. In order to help slow the spread of COVID-19, it's really important to stay in quarantine. I really hate to like beat a dead horse because I know you've all probably like heard this a million times and you're like sick of it. But it can be like really tempting to like try and like go get some social interaction, especially after being quarantined this long. But just remember, like, even if you think you're healthy, remember that those who have the virus may not necessarily be showing symptoms right away. And it's especially dangerous for people who are immunocompromised. So just being careless about it can risk lives. So yeah, just make sure you stay inside and take social distancing seriously.
All right, and time for the last question. So, did Carol Baskin kill her husband? Make sure you pick the right answer. So she definitely did, I'm just saying. But it's okay, all the answers are right because my opinion isn't necessarily the only right one. But if you haven't watched Tiger King yet, you definitely should. It is a great way to spend your quarantine. It is not only one of the most watched documentaries of all time, but it is quality entertainment. But FaceTiming friends, cooking meals, reading a book, going for a walk, stuff like that are some other really fun ways you can keep yourself entertained during quarantine. All right, so now we're going to reveal the winners. If you are one of the top 3 winners, please either message myself or Grace on like the Zoom chat. You can do it privately if you want with your email so we can make sure we get you your prize. So as a reminder, the first place winner is going to get $25, second place is going to get $15, and third place is going to get $10.
Yay.
Yay!
Rihanna. Gem.
Here comes the spotlight.
Wow.
Wow!
Oh, yay!
Awesome! Well, congratulations, you guys.
Yeah, so go ahead and you can private message me or Natalie with your email address, and we will send you those gift cards. So, yes, that is the end of our Kahoot and everything. Does anyone have any questions or comments or anything to say?
You can put them in the chat or unmute yourself, whatever you prefer. If there's anything you want to know a little more about that we might have the answer to.
I think it's so surprising how many people have come in with like lung damage. Because I was like, I thought there was like super little research on it. So the fact that there was like 500, that's shocking to me.
Yeah, no, for sure. When we were like putting this together, I remember being like, it's a lot. So very concerning for sure. Anything else?
All right.
Okay. Thank you everyone so much for joining. This is like our first one, so we're like really excited. And it was like a good turnout. So thank you so much for coming, and we hope you had fun and learned stuff. Yeah.